Take in the car. How you feel? To the truck or get up. You scared as hell, right? Scared as hell. Keep running, buddy. Scared as hell. That is not self-defense. We were trying to stop in the car.
Please. If I haven't been strong in my life, y'all, I need every day. Pray for me, y'all. Please, just stop reporting, y'all. Report the page, please.
Monday morning, September 9, 2025. Chicago's South Loop. Blood stains the sidewalk outside an elementary school. Parents grab their children, trying to shield them, as sirens scream in the distance. Just minutes earlier, Romeca Meeks kissed her son goodbye at this very spot. She slipped a handwritten note into his lunchbox. Happy Monday, son. You're the coolest, smartest, and funniest kid I know. I love you so much. Love, Mommy. Now, Romeca lay bleeding on the pavement, shot 4 times, once in the face. The woman who pulled the trigger stood just a few feet away. Calm. Phone to her ear. Having a casual conversation as if nothing happened. No panic. No attempt to run. She wore green leggings and a black sweater. A bystander shouted, "You just shot somebody. What's wrong with you?" Her chilling response, "I have a license to carry." Caught between them was Carlos Way, the father of both women's children. Moments earlier, he had Romeca in a headlock when the bullets started flying. This wasn't random. It was the final explosion after months of threats, shattered windows, slashed tires, confrontations at work, and even a restraining order that should have protected Romeca but didn't. Every warning sign had been ignored. Every system that was supposed to keep her safe failed her. So how did a simple school drop-off turn into an execution? This is her story. Welcome to the True Crime Journal. Today we're diving into a case that shook Chicago just days ago. But before we begin, let me say this. May your families stay safe wherever they are. And if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We cover the details mainstream media overlooks, the patterns no one talks about, and the warnings that went unheeded. Today's case contains graphic details and discussions of domestic violence. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. To really understand what happened that Monday morning, we need to step back in time. Back to who Romeca Meeks was before her name ever became a headline. At Central State University in Wilberforce, Ohio, Romeca proudly walked across the stage to receive her certificate in criminal justice. She had chosen this path for a reason. She wanted to help people, guide them through the legal system, and protect the vulnerable. For 4 years, she studied everything: law enforcement, constitutional rights, domestic violence protocols. The tragic irony is clear now. The very system she trained to understand would later fail her. After graduation, life didn't unfold the way she had hoped. Romeca became a single mother. Bills piled up, and her degree, the one that should have opened doors, sat unused. Instead, she put on a McDonald's uniform every morning. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work. It paid the bills. It kept food on the table and her son in school. During this time, Romeca was in a relationship with Carlos Way. In the beginning, their love was sweet, and they even welcomed a child together. But what started as happiness slowly unraveled. Their relationship grew rocky, filled with ups and downs, until they eventually split. Carlos Way, also known as Rackboy Lawsoon, often presented himself as a family man. He posted motivational quotes about loyalty and respect. He shared photos with his children. But here's the thing, children, plural. Multiple kids. Different mothers. Photographed separately. Then came Holly Johnson. The timeline is important. Holly entered Carlos's life in early 2024. By summer, she was pregnant. By fall, she was posting pictures online, calling Carlos her king. And by winter, there was another baby. Another child for Carlos. Another woman in his world. But Holly wasn't like Romeca. Where Romeca kept her distance, Holly wanted to stay close. While Romeca was filing restraining orders, Holly Johnson was filing something very different. Cook County records show that in March 2025, Holly applied for a concealed carry permit. In Illinois, that's not a quick process. You need training, background checks, fingerprinting, and you must give a reason why you need protection. By May, Holly had completed every step. By June, she had her license. Just 3 months later, she would use it. Meanwhile, the McDonald's on State Street, where Romeca worked, had quietly become a stage for ongoing tension. Co-workers later recalled things they had seen but never reported. Carlos showing up during rush hour, standing outside the windows, watching. Sometimes Holly was with him, sitting in the car. Other times, both of them came inside. Ordering nothing. Just sitting there, forcing Romeca to face them while she worked. Then came July 18, 2025. A day that would change everything. Romeca returned home from her shift and noticed her front door was slightly open. Inside, her 42-inch TV lay face down on the floor, the screen shattered into a web of cracks. It wasn't the first time something like this had happened. But this felt different. The way it was done, the message it sent, it was enough. Romeca finally went to court. The judge's decision was quick, order of protection granted. Carlos Way had to stay 500 feet away from Romeca at all times. But here's the problem, the order couldn't change custody rights. Carlos still had legal access to their child. Every other weekend. Wednesday evenings. The court wouldn't deny him visits without proof that the child himself was in danger. Broken windows and slashed tires weren't considered enough. Which meant Romeca still had to text Carlos. She still had to coordinate pickups. She still had to communicate with the man she had a restraining order against. And Holly Johnson? She wasn't a bystander in all of this. She was part of it. Monday, September 9th. It started like any other school day. Romeca woke up early, made breakfast, helped her son get dressed. She was especially excited, it was his first day of school. They took a selfie by the door with his new backpack, both smiling. She slipped a handwritten note into his lunchbox. Happy Monday, son. This is a fresh start to your day, so start off strong. Always be yourself. You're the coolest, smartest, and funniest kid I know. I love you so much. Love, Mommy. At 7:45 a.m., they left their apartment. By 8:50 a.m., they arrived at the school. At 9 a.m., she kissed him goodbye and watched until he disappeared inside. Then everything changed. A white sedan appeared. Security cameras from a nearby grocery store captured it all. 9:03 a.m., a white Chevrolet Malibu pulled to the curb. No turn signal. No slow approach. It was sudden, as if the driver had just spotted someone. Behind the wheel was Carlos Way. In the passenger seat, Holly Johnson. One parent, Maria Rodriguez, who was dropping off her daughter, would later testify. The man jumped out first. He was calling her name, Romeca, Romeca, we need to talk. But Romeca kept walking. She had a restraining order. Carlos was breaking it just by being there. She tried to ignore him. She walked faster. But he ran up behind her. Near the crosswalk, Carlos caught up to her. That's when Holly got out of the car. Another parent, James Thompson, who was loading his twin boys into his van, recalled hearing Romeca's voice. She told him, "You're not supposed to be here. I'll call the police." Romeca had her phone out, ready to call for help. Carlos snatched it from her hand and slammed it to the ground. The screen shattered instantly. That's when Holly stepped in. Witness James Thompson recalled, she came around the car fast, real aggressive, saying, "We just want to talk about the baby." Romeca stood her ground. There's nothing to talk about. The court already decided. But Holly moved closer. The court don't know everything, she snapped. What happened next took only seconds. Holly shoved Romeca. Romeca stumbled backward, then pushed back. Holly fell against the car. At that moment, Carlos lunged forward. He grabbed Romeca from behind. Witness Destiny Williams, a school custodian on her smoke break, later described it, he had his arm around her neck, like a chokehold. She was trying to get away, but he's much bigger. She didn't stand a chance. This detail matters. In Illinois law, self-defense requires immediate danger. But Romeca was trapped, restrained, unable to fight back. She wasn't a threat to anyone. Then Holly ran to the car. Maria Rodriguez thought she was leaving. I thought, good, it's over, she said. But Holly wasn't leaving. She opened the passenger door and reached under the seat. When she stood back up, something black was in her hand. A Glock 19. Purchased legally. Registered properly. Loaded with hollow-point bullets. Designed for maximum damage. Holly walked back toward Carlos and Romeca. Romeca was still locked in the headlock, her feet barely touching the ground as Carlos held her up. Holly raised the gun, stepped closer, pressed it against Romeca's face, and pulled the trigger. The bullet tore through her chin, traveled upward through her jaw, and exploded out her cheek. Carlos finally let go. Romeca crumpled to the concrete.
She's the one who shot her. She's the one who shot her. Restraining order, but she shot her.
The gun in the car. The gun in the car.
On the page in the car, how you feel? She just dropped her. Get up. You scared as hell, right? Scared as hell. She ran her, buddy. Scared as hell. That is not self-defense. He was trying to self in the car, bro. You're telling me to hit the car, bro. What are you talking about? You had her in a headlock. When you shot her, Brody, I was there. I write a statement, Brody. Don't worry about it.
Inside the school, 387 children hear the gunshots. Teachers rush to lock doors. The intercom crackles to life, lockdown. This is not a drill. By 9:05 a.m., the gunfire stops. What happens next is almost impossible to understand. Holly Johnson calmly pulls out her phone, dials a number, and starts chatting. Witness Maria Rodriguez recalls, she was maybe 10 feet away from the woman she just shot, just standing there, having a normal conversation like nothing happened. Security audio from the grocery store across the street captures her words. Yeah, I'm at the school. No, I'm fine. I had to. My license is in my purse. Meanwhile, Romeca Meeks lies dying on the sidewalk. Blood pools beneath her head. Her body convulses. Carlos Way stands frozen, his shirt soaked in her blood. And the shooter? She's still on the phone. Destiny Williams, the custodian, yells at Holly, "You shot somebody. What is wrong with you?" Holly's reply, "She attacked me. I was defending myself." Destiny fires back, "She was in a headlock. How's she gonna attack anyone in a headlock?" By now, more witnesses gather. Parents who just waved goodbye to their children now stand in horror. One of them, Dr. Marcus Chen, rushes over. "I identified myself as a physician. Checked for a pulse. It was weak, but present. The facial wound was catastrophic. The abdominal wound was bleeding badly." At 9:07 a.m., Officer Daniel Morrison arrives. "I observed a female victim lying on the ground with multiple gunshot wounds. A female subject in green leggings was standing nearby, cell phone in hand." 2 minutes later, at 9:09 a.m., an ambulance arrives. Paramedics fight to save Romeca's life. All the while, Holly keeps talking on the phone, "She's been harassing me. I have a restraining order against her. Check the records. I feared for my life. Police handcuff her, standard procedure." Holly doesn't resist. She doesn't protest. Despite everything paramedics tried, at 9:43 a.m. Romeca Meeks was pronounced dead at the scene. Within minutes of Romeca's death, the digital world exploded. The very next day, Carlos Way posted 3 words on Facebook, "Worst day of my life." Within an hour, the post had over 1,000 shares. Within 2 hours, more than 3,000 comments poured in. But people weren't offering sympathy. Everyone had seen the video, the evidence that couldn't be hidden. The battle for the narrative had begun. But the truth was already captured, in timestamps, in security footage, and in the blood drying on South State Street. Investigators from the Chicago Police Department wasted no time. They collected evidence from every angle, and what they found was overwhelming. Every single piece pointed to the same story: Romeca was restrained, Holly retrieved the gun, and then fired the final, execution-style shot. On the surface, it looked like a straightforward case, murder caught on camera. But the legal system is never that simple. As of this recording, Holly Johnson remains in custody, awaiting a preliminary hearing. She has not yet been formally charged. Her defense team argues she acted in self-defense, claiming Romeca was the aggressor. Chicago PD has confirmed the case will go to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. Prosecutors must now decide whether to file charges against Holly, against Carlos, both, or neither. This legal limbo could take months to sort out. But for Romeca, time has already run out. And that brings us to the pattern no one wants to face. Every 16 hours in America, a woman is killed by an intimate partner or ex-partner. Not by a stranger. Not by a random attacker. But by someone who once claimed to love them. Dr. Angela Morrison, a leading domestic violence researcher, explains it clearly: the most dangerous time for a woman is when she leaves. That's when control is threatened, and violence escalates. The statistics are chilling. 75% of domestic violence murders happen after the woman leaves. 89% involve prior stalking. 54% happen in public, places women thought were safe. Romeca knew these statistics. She had studied them. She had a degree in criminal justice. She documented the stalking. She filed for a restraining order. She changed her routines. She did everything the system told her to do. And it still wasn't enough. Because this was never about love. It was about control. A toxic mindset that says, if I can't have you, no one can. Carlos Way showed all the red flags: stalking her at work, violating her boundaries, destroying her property, using their child as leverage. And when Holly joined him, it only escalated. Dr. Morrison explains that when a new partner joins the abuse, it often validates the abuser's actions. Holly didn't see Romeca as a human being. She saw her as competition to eliminate. And that's the heartbreaking irony. Romeca had studied criminal justice for 4 years. Law enforcement, victim protection, rights of the vulnerable. She had the knowledge. But knowledge doesn't stop bullets. This isn't just one case. It's an epidemic. Since you started watching this video, 3 women in America have been killed by intimate partners. Their names won't make headlines. Their children won't get GoFundMe pages. They'll just be reduced to statistics. Romeca might have been one of them, too, if not for the cameras, the witnesses, and the evidence that couldn't be ignored. Advocates call this the most dangerous time, the moment a woman finally leaves. When she sets boundaries, when she files paperwork, when she says, enough. That's when abusers are most likely to kill. Romeca had already left, and even that wasn't enough. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this story. Let's make sure Romeca's death means something. Because today, somewhere in America, another woman is writing a note for her child's lunchbox. She's changing her route to work. She's looking over her shoulder. And tomorrow, right here on the True Crime Journal, we'll examine another case that shook the law enforcement community.